What is up, you guys? How are you all doing out there? I hope you're doing super awesome well. I'm Ashley with AHM Artistry, and in today's video, I want to do a full face of makeup of products that I don't think I'm ever going to finish for one reason or another. Maybe I love the products and I just don't think it's possible for me to finish them. Maybe I hate the products and that's why. Or maybe it's just I have a million of them and I just don't think I'm ever going to finish it. But I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to do it kind of get ready with me chit chat style and do a little makeup I'm never going to finish and talk about the TV shows that I've loved and I'm never ever gonna finish. So we're gonna get into it. I just was thinking the other day how many shows it is that I've never finished, and I gotta be honest, I kind of thought it was my husband's fault because like we watch these shows together and then we never really have time to finish them, or we get really into something and then he's always like, I don't really want to watch it right now or whatever. So I thought it was him. So I have to say I'm sorry, husband, because it's not you. It's me, and it's you too. It's both of us, but also me by myself, because I sat and wrote a list out of shows that I could think of off the top of my head of the shows that I never finished that I just watched by myself, and I can't blame him. And it dates back, okay, to at least 2010, pre-things that we were watching together. We were together at that time, but we were watching things consistently, and pre-DVR and Netflix and stuff. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about all that, hang out. Maybe I'll rediscover some favorites. Maybe I will end up finishing some of these, but for right now, I grabbed things that I pretty much never reached for, and I don't think I'm ever gonna finish. At this point, some of them I need to give away. So if you wanna see all that, if that all sounds good and dandy to you guys, then you're in the right place. So all you need to do now is sit back, hang tight, and keep on watching. All right, we are gonna get into it, but I have to say, if you are new here and you stumbled upon my face and you wanna get notified when I post more videos, well then you can go down, hit that little red subscribe button, then you'll get notified when I post those videos, which is at least 3 times a week. So I'm gonna put my little kitty headband on. I always get asked where I got this from, and I'm sorry, I think it was Daiso, I always say it wrong. It's like that $1.50 Japanese store. I think I got it there, but it was like a year ago. First things first, Amaryllis. I'm gonna go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Now I talked about this in my Tatcha products like best and worst or favorites and fails or whatever, the Tatcha line that I've used. And I don't think I've touched it since. It just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And even still, this is the mini, okay? And there's still so much left. I don't think I'm ever gonna finish it. I don't really like it. I don't really understand it. I've tried it in so many different ways, so many different foundation combinations. I probably have used it at least 10 times. I don't know, I can't remember, but I think I'm about ready to try it once more today. And if I just can't get it to work, then I will put it in my, give to my friends and family bin, because I need to declutter some things. So this will be a good video of a make or break. And now that that's all on, I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. I think I'm the shade Light 45 Neutral. I don't know, I bought it like probably a year ago. Barely used it because I quite frankly didn't like it. It's like hydrating, but like too greasy on me or something. It would just separate on me. I didn't really like it. I know a lot of people love this foundation, so sorry if this is your boo, but it just isn't really my jam. Oh, and I need to go in with concealer first. Just on the cheeks, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I actually love this concealer, but this one isn't my shade. This is the shade Vanilla 06, whichever one you want to go in, 06 or Vanilla. The shade looks perfect when I apply it, but it oxidizes like crazy. So I'm gonna use it under my foundation today because I think that will be fine, but I'm never gonna use it. I need to declutter it at this point, so I'm gonna use it one last time, and maybe one day I'll find a shade that works for me. But while we blend this all out, let me go ahead and talk about some shows that I'll never finish watching. Okay, this one goes way back. Like I said, this is pre-2010, I think. This is 2008, I think. I don't know. I was watching this show with one of my roommates way back in the day, like way back when Blockbuster was around and you bought things and you bought movies and stuff at Best Buy. We actually bought the series at Best Buy after it was on HBO, and that's the show Carnival. It was so cool. It was crazy. It was very like American Horror Story style, but pre all of that, but all carnival theme, and it was like during the Dust Bowl, and it was super cool. Finished the first season. We bought the second season. We found out that it got canceled after the second season, and then I just never watched it. And that happens sometimes with these shows. Like I find out it gets canceled, and then I'm just like, ugh, well, I don't want to like keep investing into it. But it was so cool, and I heard or I read, my roommate actually ended up finishing it, and he said like, no, it leaves off on a spot that's cool, and it's good. But I was stubborn, and I just never finished it. Ugh, yeah, this foundation is just so sticky going on, and I don't don't know how it's gonna cooperate with the primer. But it would be really funny if it ended up working amazing with the primer and then the combination like was just match made in heaven and that was what I was missing. But we'll see. Okay, that should be enough. I'm not gonna overdo it because maybe that's why it used to get separated and stuff. I don't know what I was doing a year ago. I don't even know what I was doing a couple weeks ago. Now for a regular concealer for like brightening and stuff, I'm gonna go in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. This is in the shade 115 Light Nude. It is a little bit light to me. I had ordered this online originally for my 7 Days of Cruelty-Free Drugstore Concealer series, and I didn't really love it in that series, but I figured out less is more, especially because this is a really light shade on me, and it also dries really, really fast, and it can dry down like this is hair desert. So if I try to do it like the Shape Tape way, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So that's why I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this, and I think I might pass this along soon too, just because it's so light, and I'm never reach for it because I just have to do a section at a time, like that much, and then I gotta blend it out because it'll be bad news bears otherwise. So while I do this concealer, let's talk about the next show. The next show is one of my top most disappointed in myself shows for not finishing, and that's Breaking Bad. Followed up after Carnival was Breaking Bad. I was so heavily invested in that show. Me and the same roommate would watch it all the time, not all the time, I mean every week. That was back before we had DVR, and we had to watch it, you know, when it aired. I think we ended up getting DVR by time the 3rd or 4th season. I think I watched the 3rd season all the way through. I'd have to look up how many seasons there are. I think the last episode I watched, I'm not gonna spoil it in case you're like watching it right now or something, was with his assistant guy, I forget his name now, the little guy, and he's in like racing movies and stuff. There was a tragic incident with a girlfriend of his. So that was the last episode I watched, and I was invested in it. I don't know what happened. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what I got married shortly after, and so like we just kind of lost time. My husband could never get into that show, so like that's a big reason why too. It's because we watch stuff together a lot, and he's just like, I'm not really into it. I think if he watched it now though, he would get into it. So that might be one of those like I need to revamp and refinish that show, that series. Although I feel like I didn't hear great things about the season finale, but I don't know. That's like, you gotta finish it. I'm disappointed in myself is what I'm trying to say. I'm disappointed in myself for not finishing that one. I would say right after Breaking Bad is when The Walking Dead started. The Walking Dead started with one of my best friends, Courtney. I think I started watching it with her. I'm trying to think who I started watching. I'm pretty sure. And then I was probably 2 or 3 seasons in for I Met My Husband, no, or he just didn't get into it. Maybe I had to watch that one without him. I don't know. We weren't married yet or anything. We were just dating. And I think I finally got him into that maybe around the 3rd or 4th season. We like binged everything. So he was into that. That was a show every week up until a year ago that we would watch together every week. I never finished the last episode with Negan. Yeah. Yep. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I couldn't imagine the day that I wouldn't finish Walking Dead. Like it would still be on and I wouldn't be watching it. There was a couple seasons before Negan showed up that it was just getting like a lot. And I just wasn't looking. No, it was Glenn. It was Glenn and Negan. It was when Negan got introduced that I just had to take a break. Like emotionally, you get so invested in these characters that things happen and you're just like, whoa. So I think we took like a 2-month break and then we were finally ready. We watched that whole rest of the season and then I watched the next season with Negan, and by the last episode of that season, I don't even remember what number it is now, I was so sick of Negan, honestly. Like he's a pretty like freaking intense character, and like it's kind of cool like to watch the fight, but it was just like how many, it's kind of like the ending of Lord of the Rings where it just keeps going on and you think it's over and then it goes on and then it's on and that's kind of like the ending of Negan was just like okay already. Okay, now there's been a whole season since and I haven't watched it and I just don't have the drive to, which it's so weird because I was so into that show. I tried watching Fear the Walking Dead and I think I got 1.5 seasons in and I was just trying so hard to like that show, but I just couldn't, it couldn't hook me. And then like, I think I watched a couple episodes randomly, like later on, maybe their 3rd season, which I was quite frankly surprised it made it that far. And I was like, this is pretty cool. Now I want to watch it, but I just didn't have the time to backtrack and find out where I left off. It was just a little bit slow. So everything's going on pretty well, but This concealer smells like paint thinner, straight up. It kind of smells like that Wet n Wild foundation, you know, that everybody likes but knows that it smells terrible. But everything is blending together pretty nicely. This might actually be a decent combination. I do look really dry, I'll tell you. Oh my goodness. So let's add to that dryness and let's use a setting powder that's really, really dry for me. Actually, I don't even need much setting powder. Everything's pretty dried down. This is the Velvetizer Mix-In Medium, or you can use it as a setting powder from Urban Decay. This is very dry for me. It is, but if I dust it lightly, it'll be okay. You know what, the last show I probably watched in its full entirety was like Lost. Like that was so long ago, but then again, that was back in the day when you had to watch it when it aired or you're gonna miss it. Oh, and The Office too, of course. Of course, The Office. Now let's do a little bit of bronzer. Now I'm never gonna finish this whole palette except maybe the highlighters. This is the Oprah Free Spirit palette and I'm never gonna finish it because I actually hate it. Hate it so much, especially the eyeshadows. The bronzer contour, whatever shade you want to call it, it's okay, but I don't think I'm ever gonna hit pan on it. And that's what I did with these palettes. I did palettes that I'm never gonna hit pan on because I'm not gonna reach for it. Like, I don't love this palette. The only thing that I like about this palette is the highlighters. Those ones, Oprah, A++. Shadows, they're terrible. Blush is okay. The blush is okay. And then the bronzer's like, it's okay, but I don't think to reach of it and take like this big hunky thing out just to use that because it actually makes me mad when I look at this palette because I wanted it for so long. It originally retails for like $80. I got it on sale for $25, plus I used some Ulta coupons. But point is, it is not worth that original price point. I don't know if I got a dud or what, but I wanted this palette for at least a year. So when I finally got it, I was so beyond disappointed. It's kind of like when you're watching a show and you're heavily invested in it and something terrible happens or the season just suddenly ends without any kind of warning or good ending and you're just like, what? What? Huh? But I wouldn't know because I almost never finish shows. All right, another one that I'm disappointed in myself, and I still have time because it's fairly new, but Handmaid's Tale. I don't have, what is it, Hulu? I watched the first season of that. It was really cool, really into it, but that was one of those shows that my husband couldn't really get into. So it's hard because I don't watch a lot of TV. Honestly, most of my free time I'm sitting down and filming, and then I'm editing said filming. So I don't have a lot of time to watch shows that I have to like really pay attention to. So I need to see, is that one worth continuing watching? I think they just renewed it for a third or fourth season out. Yeah, maybe I don't like this bronzer at all. It's very orange. Maybe that's why I never grab it. This is coming across maybe it's oxidizing weird because of my products that are underneath, but ooh, I do not like this at all. Ooh, okay, well, that's gonna be done. I think what I need to do with this palette at this point is just take out, they pop out so easily. They make them so you can like, just pop them out. I need to put these in a separate palette. I need to, because I love those highlighters, but I friggin' hate everything else. Or I need to build a new one. Maybe I'll get some ColourPop singles and pop them in instead. Yeah, you'd think that blue would be awesome. And it looks fine, but it sucks. It sucks so hard. Okay. Okay, now for blush. Now, there's not a lot of blushes that like I'm obsessed with. I always just kind of grab whatever, but I don't think I'll ever finish this Bare Minerals loose powder blush called Stellar because it's a loose powder, which means I'll have it forever because I'll never finish it. It's kind of like a coffin bag. Like it'll just keep going. You just reach in and it's still there. That's what's gonna happen. Also, this shade is discontinued, so I don't like using any products that are discontinued on camera if I can help it, because that sucks for you guys if you are interested in something. I tried grabbing everything today that wasn't discontinued, minus this blush shade, because I still make these things. It is just sticking so bad right now to the products that I already have underneath. Usually this one is like a no fail. Abort mission. This is gross looking. Oh my goodness. This I thought was gonna help save the bronzer and I was wrong. Okay, maybe highlight. Maybe highlight will save this. This looks muddy right now. And I think it's the mixture of the foundation, because I never have a problem with that blush and that bronzer look is now making it look so muddy. Highlighter, I'm gonna go with the Urban Decay Afterglow highlighter, and this is in Sin. I have so many highlighters that I'm like obsessed with. This is just a basic white one that I never ever ever think to grab it. It doesn't like blow me away. I got it for a birthday gift from Urban Decay last year, and you can see how I will never hit pan on this baby. I won't. I can't use too much or else it gives like a white cast when I look head on. They sell it singly, and I figured, hey, this is probably the one highlighter that I know, even if I tried to remember to use it every day, I wouldn't remember to use it because it's just meh. It reminds me of like highlighters back in the day before they were highlighters, you know, like when there wasn't very many highlighters on the market, they didn't like experiment and play around with it. It's just like a basic glowy powder. Next up, I'm gonna do my brows while we talk about the next show, and I'm gonna use the NYX eyebrow gel. I don't think I'll ever use all of this up because I've used it once before and it made my eyebrows so crispy. So crispy. So I'm gonna try to go in with a lighter hand today and a different brush and hope that that doesn't happen. But this look may turn south real fast. All right, so I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand right here, maybe, unless it dried up because I didn't use it in 3 months. Oh, was it always that thick? Hang on a second. I don't remember. I don't remember it being that thick when I first used it. So it could have already dried up, in which case it means that I would never finish it for sure. I'm gonna go with my Kat Von D eyebrow brush, and I'll talk about a show really quickly, then I'll have to do my brows off camera for the rest. Oh, the White Queen. Oh, I loved that. That was on Stars, which is kind of tricky. I don't think we had Stars when the second season came out. The second season was called White Princess. So I am sure there's ways that I can watch it. And it came out a couple years after the White Queen, I believe. That was like a period piece, and it was based on a couple novels. It was really, really cool. It had like witches and like royalty and, you know, all that kind of cool stuff. But I got around to it. I think they even had a third season called The Spanish Princess or something. But yeah, watched one season of it. Didn't get around to watching any of the others, or I didn't have access to it. I don't really remember. Wow, yep, don't like that eyebrow product at all. It is so gross to work with. It's like sticky and goopy and dry, but creamy, but not pleasant at all. Color though, color's great, but it is just freaking difficult to work with, and that is going in the, might be going in the trash. Now, eye primer was kind of tricky. I didn't have very many eye primers laying around that I don't like think I'll finish because I love the ones that I have. I was like, I love Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I have finished one of these before. I finished the first one that I ever got way back in the day, way back in like 2006. One that came with an eyeshadow palette, and I finished that one. So I shouldn't say like I'll never finish this, but now at this point in my life, I have other eye primers that I like way better. This was back in the day before like eye primers were really a thing. Well, they were one of the first. I like ones that cancel out any kind of discoloration or anything that I have better, and I can like carve out my eyebrow with. So I just don't really think to reach for this. I think I've had this same deluxe sample for at least 6 months. Maybe a year, and it's still full. So I don't see myself ever finishing it, and I think that it'll dry up and be gross, crusty before I ever could. So that's that. But it's nice that they changed to the squeezy tube, so I don't have to worry about it getting as gross, and it lasts just fine. Now for eyeshadow palette. So I was looking at my eyeshadow palettes, and there was a lot actually, because I have quite a bit of eyeshadow palettes, and there's a lot that I was like, I'll probably never even hit pan on some of these. But a lot of them were discontinued or limited edition. They don't make anymore, and it's like, that's not really fair because since I do YouTube, I usually do palettes that you guys can still get your hands on. There's a lot of palettes that I love and are amazing, but I don't want to show them to you guys all the time because that's mean. So I won't ever hit pan on them because I have other products, more current, up-to-date products that I will use, and I'll also never hit pan on. But some of the products like I love, like the Too Faced Gold Chocolate Bar, whatever, Jeffree Star Blood Sugar, like those I will hit pan on. Mark my words, at some point or another, I'll hit pan on one of those. So I looked at my palettes and I was like, what is still being made that I don't think I will ever hit pan on? Jeffree Star Blue Blood. I know, there, I said it. I said it. You guys might have seen my reviews and my tutorials using this when it came out. It's just not the palette for me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Only half the shades in here I like. I don't think that they perform as well as his other eyeshadow palettes. I mean, we just recently did all the Jawbreaker eyeshadow tutorials and I freaking love that palette. I love Blood Sugar, but Blue Blood, it's just not my girl. And I don't think I'll ever hit pan on it because I look at it and I'm like, do I want to be disappointed today? Do I want to have a challenge? No, I don't. So she just stays there next to the rest of my makeup looking pretty, and that's about it. So I pretty much can't use any of the pastel shades because they just do not show up on me, and a lot of the shades I have a difficulty with, but I'm gonna try to do a look really quickly anyways because we're already having some issues. So why not? I can definitely bust out a good look with this palette. I can bust out a lot of good looks, but I just can only use certain shades in the palette. So it's not that I want to dog it. I know a lot of people love this palette, and if blue's for you, blue's for you, but I'm not gonna wear blue eyeshadow every day. I mean, if I wanted to wear, let me think of one that like I love. Okay, if I wanted to wear blue blood every day, yeah, I would hit pan, but there's not a lot of options in here that work great for me. So I'll never hit pan on any of these, I don't think. It's one of those palettes that I just look at it and I get kind of mad. So I'm just gonna set underneath the brow with Wealthy. That's the brow bone shade in it. And let's talk some shows. Let's add some more to my list of things I've never finished in my life. Okay, Boardwalk Empire, and I have good reason for this one. I think I watched 1 or 2 seasons, I can't remember anymore, and my husband loved it too. We watched it together, and that show just got too much for me. It got too much, too graphic in so many different ways that I was just like, okay, I can't anymore. I can't, I'm sorry, I can't. So he finished watching it. I don't remember if he enjoyed the rest of it, if it ended good, I don't know, but he watched the rest of it. I didn't, I couldn't. Anytime he would be in, like, he'd be watching it, I walk in the room, I'm just like, it's just too much, it's just too much. So I'm kind of like a pansy when it comes to that stuff. So on the same vein, let's talk about Westworld. And while I talk about Westworld, let's go in with Blue Blood, since we talked about me liking that shade. So Westworld, I watched the first season. Me and my husband definitely binge watched that, and I think that's on HBO if I remember correctly. But that is one of them that we were both like, it's too much. Like, we were watching the full first season, we were just like cringing the whole time. It was such a cool concept, but it was too graphic, man. It was too much. It was too much for me. I mean, if you thought if Boardwalk Empire was too much for me, then Westworld was like way too much for me. It was too much. And it's funny, you think that Walking Dead would have been too much, but it was like those zombies, it's just different. A+ for freaking concept, design, cinematography, everything is spot on with that show. But I need to watch like the PG-13 version because the explicit version is just too much for my soul, my little soul. Do I actually like this shade? I don't remember now. I might not like it with this primer because I can still see all my natural color of my skin underneath, and that makes me uncomfortable to see my natural skin. Right now I'm gonna go in with Entitled, this shimmery turquoise shade. I'm just gonna pop it right in there, kind of give like a little oceany look. I don't know if I like it yet, but we'll see when it all comes together. Now on the little inner corner, I'm gonna go in with Cullen. Those brows are like disappearing before my eyes. It's like a magic trick, and a magic trick that I am not enjoying. On the lower lash line, let's go in with Flourishing, this turquoise shade. And let's talk about American Horror Story. A lot of you guys are probably disappointed in me. How can you stop watching such amazing shows? I'm like, well, because I'm so bad at finishing shows. I watched when it first came out, American Horror Story. The first one, awesome, so good. Second one, okay, it's good. It's starting to get a little weird, but it's still good. I did not finish the witch one. I know, before you come for me, I know everybody's obsessed with the witch one. I get it, it's cool. It was too much for me. I'm a pansy, like major. I don't watch horror movies, horror films, not for me, don't like it, too freaked out, no. Especially when it's more like real life stuff, like murderers, serial killers. I don't jive with. And the witch stuff, some of that stuff, oh, that could have really happened. Like that's intense, and it was just like really great. It got like really, really, really graphic, more graphic than I feel the first 2 seasons were. So that's why I had to bow out, and I just couldn't stomach getting back into any of them. Around that time, I think that might have been when I had my daughter, and things got like too intense for me emotionally. My like mommy hormones went like through the roof as soon as I had my daughter. So I was much more sensitized to things, and I took things a little too seriously at that point and like too freaked out. And maybe that's why I never finished it. I'm like having a therapy session with myself now, like, oh, That's why. I really think that might be why. To this day, I can't. I used to watch Criminal Minds. I don't count this as like something that I never watched finished, because I never watched it from the beginning. My husband would watch it and I would get into it. And I thought it was so cool how they like went into the mind and like figured out, not went into the mind, but you know, they analyzed Criminal Minds and they would figure things out. And I thought that was really cool. And it's like, as soon as I had my daughter, I couldn't watch it with him anymore because I would get too freaked out. I think seriously, my emotions went from like cold, callous, not caring to like overload, can't handle it. Like commercials making me cry, watching the Hallmark Channel, that kind of shiz. And that's the God honest truth, baby. All right, liner. So I have this little set from ColourPop. It's their BFF liquid liners, all the colors. I grabbed this because I don't think I'll ever finish all the colors. They're good, I like them. They're really easy to use. They're like a felt tip colored liner, and they also have a black, but I just don't think I'll ever finish them. But that's my own fault because I keep them in this cute like collector's case in an area like in my bathroom where I don't see them as much. I don't think to use them. Therefore, I literally forget that I have them. Like sometimes I'm like, ooh, I wish I had this colored liner. And I just won't even remember that I have it. And then later at night or something, I'll see it and I'm like, oh wow, I'm an idiot. So I don't think I'll ever finish it unless I put it in my like liner bin. But my liner, not bin, whatever this called, cup holder is to the top. So I need to go through that and declutter some stuff and maybe put those in there because then I'll use it. So let's try this. It's Curze, which is crazy. A deep blue shade or green. Ooh, hang on a second. Maybe I want to do green. Maybe I want to get real Curzer and do the hills. It might not show up enough on the blue. Oh, it does, but you have to be really close to see it. So let me switch back to the blue. Cool thought, but I probably need to like remove and then apply, and quite frankly I just don't feel like it right now, so I'm gonna go in with Curze. All right, for mascara I'm gonna go in with the NYX Worth the Hype mascara, and it's a fine mascara. It's very basic. I don't think I'm ever gonna finish it. I think it's at the point that I need to toss it, but I like never ever want to reach for it. I have other ones that I love, and that's that on that, says Raw Beauty Christy. She needs to make that t-shirt. She seriously does, because I will buy it. Let's go on to lighter notes with TV shows. Last Man on Earth. Last Man on Earth. That show is freaking hilarious. I shouldn't say was, I think it's still on. That show's hilarious. As soon as I don't want to spoil anything, so it's hard. There's literally nothing I can say that won't spoil it because I don't remember the season numbers. Stopped watching it as soon as it like started getting like really interesting, but it was just so funny. So funny. I love Will Forte. He is hilarious. So I really need to go back and like watch that. That's a show that I could probably have on in the background. I don't really have to pay attention to, but I can get the one-liners. Oh my gosh, I lied. One of the other shows that I've watched like from full season since Office and Lost was The New Girl. Love The New Girl, love it. Was so sad to see it go, but the last season was so weird. Well, I didn't love the last season, but they had to do something. I get it. Like, I appreciate their effort. They tried. It just wasn't even that funny. I don't know. We asked for it, so we asked them not to stop it where they had stopped it before, and they probably should have, but whatever. Oh, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I love that show. That's a show that I can just have on in the background. You don't really have to watch it from front to back because all the episodes are kind of random. I do love that show, but I definitely haven't finished it. Out of the like, when I looked it up, and it was like a lot of seasons. Over 9, I think, seasons. I've probably watched a combined total of 4 just from like all the random episodes. I tried to sit down and like binge it. Like when my husband and I first got married and we had Netflix and it was on Netflix and I couldn't binge it. It was like too much to sit and like pay attention to. I'm gonna go try to figure out if there is I have a little smudge right there. I'm gonna take that off and I'm gonna try to figure out if there's a lipstick, a nude lipstick that I think I'll never finish, or like lip gloss or something, because there are a lot of lipsticks I don't think I'll ever finish. And that's like reds and like colorful ones like that I just don't use all the time. Like I have a gray one. I'll never finish that gray one. But I wanna do one that doesn't look too crazy. So I'm gonna see if there's any nude ones that I think I'll never finish. Be right back. Okay, now this I know I'll never finish and I know I need to get rid of. It is the Urban Decay Vice Liquid Lipstick in Naked. It's not the shade I don't like, it's the formula. It's the formula I don't like. I don't even know, I mean, I probably shouldn't even use it, but let me just give it a little good stir. Have they discontinued these yet? Because they should. Let me just put it on. It's probably gonna be too pink for this eye look, but oh yeah. I'll try to tone it down with something else. Tell me why That's creamier than I remember. I understand that the color combination looks crazy. Oh, it's starting to dry down. Oh, I'm remembering why it's gross. That's why. You think it's gonna be good and then it starts drying down and it gets really nasty. Before it does, let me try to lighten it a little bit. I just grabbed a new lip gloss, and the only reason why I did this is a Dose of Colors Can You Not. I actually like this shade, but I lose lip glosses before I can finish them. Who can relate? I almost lose this one. This is from Buxom. This is the the Blushing Margarita shade, which I love, but almost every week I lose it and I have to try to find it. Usually 9 times out of 10 it like rolled somewhere in my car, but I want to lighten it, and this Can You Not shade has a lot of pigment. Actually goes onto that Urban Decay one really nicely. All right, that's fine. One more thing that I'll never finish just because it's ginormous. The Makeup Revolution Glow Revolution spray, and this is in what shade? Timeless Bronze, that's what it is. It's giant. It is giant. It's bigger than my head. It is huge. I don't think I'll ever finish it, and it kind of like sprays a glitterness on you. So I really think it's great for the summer. It's end of July, and how many times have I used this spray? 0. I used it when it wasn't summer, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect in the summer, and then summer came and I never used it. Let me just use it now. Okay, I went light-handed, and it's not bad. It's quite nice. It is not great on this muddy situation, but that's not the spray's fault, that's mine. Well, not mine, it's actually Oprah's, if I'm blaming anybody at all. Okay, I would normally apply lashes, but in the spirit of this video where I'm talking about things and using things that I'll never finish, I'm not gonna finish this makeup look. I'm not gonna apply lashes because I'm being a little bit stubborn and I'm a little bit upset at the muddy situation, but this is the whole look done. Maybe you guys can see why I don't grab some of the things. Maybe you're like, oh, you should grab some of those a little bit more. I think the eye look itself is a really cute, quick blue look, so I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at the eyebrows. I need to fill those in because they have like disappeared to almost nothing, and it was very hard to get like really good precision with it, which I usually like. The lips by itself actually look pretty cute. I don't hate that combo. I actually might do that combo again, so I won't knock it too much. The foundation, it's starting to get weird on my nose. And if a foundation gets weird on my nose, then I hate it. Time to declutter the concealers. I have so many concealers that I need to go through, but the Milani one, less is more and it works great. I had a couple more shows, honestly, that I didn't talk about that I haven't finished or never finished, but I think you guys get the point. I'm terrible at finishing shows. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and please share with me any makeup products that you think you'll never finish, but you somehow hang on to for whatever reason, and some shows that you've never finished and you were kind of disappointed in yourself, or maybe you're not. Let me know. Make me feel not so alone, and let's talk makeup and talk TV shows, because that's what is fun to do right now. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you are new here and you stumbled upon my face right here and you somehow made it through this entire video, then you're already a part of the fam bam. Now let's just seal the deal and go down and hit that little red subscribe button. That way you get notified when I post new videos, which is at least 3 times a week. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope that every single one of you out there, every single one of you, have a great, freaking awesome, wonderful, beautiful, not too hot, not too cold, just right temperature type of day.